Hi, this is Coach Sandy, and I wanted to take a moment to interact with you a little bit as best as possible through the camera, but to help you to meet Coach Sandy as you may be considering working with me. Maybe this is the right time for you. Maybe you're just investigating and it's just the beginning. In either case, we all have to do things that align with where we are right now. And so I wanted to give you a little bit of background on Coach Sandy. I began a number of years ago in the medical field. So after high school, I became an X-ray tech, and then I went on to become a radiation therapy tech, where I specialized in working with children. And about that time, after I was married for a little bit of time, I was pregnant with my first child, a daughter, and the demands of the hospital work and trying to raise a baby were something that I chose, that I really wanted to be an at-home mom. So I did do that, but still needed to make an income. So I became a consultant with Mary Kay Cosmetics. That was really my first exposure to being a trainer. And I think a coach in many respects is like a trainer, um, not as much content and a lot more listening, but still an involvement with people. And so women are probably where my major focus has been for all of my career. And I really think that inside each of us is probably a more confident, powerful woman than we often recognize. And a lot of times, as the demands of our life come along, we are challenged. We are challenged with change and transition. And certainly I was. When my kids were 4 and 8, a divorce became pretty imminent. And so I was happy that at that point I had made a decision to be an entrepreneur and work at 100% commission, because that allowed me to still be at home with my kids, raise my kids, give them the values and the beliefs and the value and the core ingredients that I felt they needed to become really strong, powerful, independent, and authentic people, which I'm happy to say a number of years later, they certainly are. So taking myself from a Mary Kay sales director, having earned my pink Cadillac, side note, my kids both learned how to drive a pink Cadillac. And so it was pretty curious and interesting. So they also learned how to be respectful on the road, because everybody knew who that pink Cadillac belonged to. And when my daughter was ready to go into college and my son into high school, I made the decision to move from New England to North Carolina, to the chagrin of many. And my parents thought that I had lost my mind for a second time. The first time was when I left the medical field and decided to go into Mary Kay Cosmetics. And then this time relocating without knowing anybody here in North Carolina, Charlotte area. They were pretty sure I had lost my mind again. So it turned out to be great. It wasn't easy, just as single parenting wasn't easy. Working on 100% commission wasn't easy, but it built my strength. And coming here, they both had to adjust to change, making new friends, and a new accent even. So we have now transitioned from being each independent in our own little team of mother, daughter, son. They now have gone on to have children of their own. My daughter lives up in Delaware with her daughter and son. My son lives here in Charlotte with his daughter and son. And I have remarried. I had a chance in my experiences. I was in real estate, and I became a trainer in real estate for an agency of about a large company agency here, but my office had about 30 agents in it. And so you can't coach somebody and train somebody unless you take on all of their life experiences and what they're juggling and what they're dealing with and the time demands. And so I became a coach there as well. My life then changed in 2009 when we had kind of a crunch in the real estate market. And for the first time ever, I really didn't have to support a whole household and college expenses, etc. because I had remarried, and we both are really entrepreneurs. He has his own IT business, and I decided that I would follow a passion of mine, which I've done yoga for a number of years, and so I decided to become a yoga instructor. I now hold still about 8 classes a week because it makes me show up for my own personal prime care, is the way I like to refer to our self-care. And it also allows me to interact with other, primarily women, and support them in their building their confidence and taking care of their wellness from the inside out. And in that process, I also became a coach. My first coaching certificate was just basic life coaching. My second coaching certificate was body-centric coaching, helping people to understand what's going on within their body so that they can make choices that are commensurate and in alignment with their core beliefs and values. So I now have another certification that helps me to deal with small groups. So I specialize now in groups of 6 to 20 women. And in that community, that is exactly what it is. It's a community that is safe to share and to grow and to manage life's transitions. My theme is basically from chaos to calm, from overwhelmed to confident, and taking our, I call her our goddess that is within us, whether you can call her Sam, but it's the strength that is within us that sometimes gets set aside or forgotten. So my goal as a coach has many different facets to it. I bring many strengths, attributes, and what should I say, credentials, I guess, to this business. But I think the primary thing that you should look for in a coach, whatever stage you're in, is that it's somebody that you relate to, somebody that you feel is authentic, and somebody that may help you to discover more within you than you are currently using or feeling empowered by. So that's my little introduction to me. I would love to get to know you more. So however you think is the correct way, whether you go to my website, wellnesswithattitude.com, whether you give me an email at coachsandy@wellnesswithattitude.com. I would love to hear from you, and thank you for allowing me this time to introduce myself.